At long last, we are out of tutorial land.
In the front yard of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh, he just noticed that it's a theme park. So, about how many clones of different characters are we going to be seeing in this game?
That may actually come up in the story.
Yeah, some idiot threw a bottle of thinner into this world. Wonder how that happened.
Yeah, Mickey.
Authorities are still trying to figure it out. Their only sketch for the criminal is 3 circles.
Wow.
I love that name, Mean Street. It's such like a Mad Magazine parody level of name. It's great.
Oh, right, Main Street. I get it.
Marcus the Gremlin.
One of many. Oh, his helmet has horns. Have they always have horns?
Yeah, they all do.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Also, a slight correction from last time. Gus is actually the main character of Roald Dahl's book, The Gremlins. I thought he was an original character.
Oh, is there another Pete? Like, a not small Pete?
There are multiple Petes. They're repeats.
Oh, why would you do that?
Well, this place isn't so bad.
Yeah, welcome to Mean Street. This is the hub world. It is very similar to the other iconic hub world from Disney theme parks, which we'll talk about in a bit, because for some reason I added this insert before we started commentary, instead of later, where I could actually sync it up with what we're talking about.
That was a pretty neat trick with, like, hopping up and then making the platform.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for this game's platforming.
The nice houses are just painted on over the top of the crappy houses.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the concept for Mean Street seems a lot meaner than what we got.
This is based on Main Street USA, which is, again, kind of like the hub world for Disneyland, Disney World, and I think most of the other theme parks as well. It is based on the idea of small town Americana. I can't believe it's taken me 13 years to think of the joke that they're all repeats.
So wait, there's also a Pete Pan?
Yeah, there's a Pete Pan and a Pete-tronic.
Huh. I'm just imagining Pete in, like, a green cap and things.
I split myself into multiple personalities, mostly for tax reasons.
One of them's just a haven for my Bitcoin.
So because we decided to help Small Pete, we get a little monetary reward. There is a side quest of sorts in regards to helping out all of the other versions of Pete.
Now, why would we go and do something like that?
Well, I mean, Mickey's reputation around here is pretty bad, so I guess making any friends he possibly can is probably in Mickey's best interest.
Oh yeah, is anyone ever going to comment on the fact that we're melting?
Yeah, that was mentioned earlier. That's bits of the shadow blot coming off of Mickey.
No, I'm talking about in the story. Like, is anyone actually going to notice that?
Yes. Short answer is yes.
Now, are they all aware that Mickey is the one that dumped the bottle?
nobody knows who caused the Thinner disaster, not even Mickey. He is gonna find out eventually.
But Mickey, he was there, like, he saw it.
Also, Thinner works on friendly NPCs.
Oh, wow, that's grotesque.
And I figured I might as well take this opportunity to show off the Guardian feature where you hold the Weird mode upward. It's pretty useless, because the level design is generally good about showing you where to go. Anyway, let's talk to Gilda.
Wow. These are characters that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, Gilda is an original character, but all of the goat and dog designs you see around Main Street, they're all based on background characters you would see from the old shorts and from the comics.
And that still exist even today. Like, if you just, like, look in the background of a lot of, like, modern Mickey shorts, you probably will see, yeah.
Oh man, Gilda's a speedrunner? I can't wait to beat her splits.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't be a 2000s platformer, or, like, 90s to 2000s platformer, if there weren't, like, arbitrary races.
Something tells me Gilda's favorite Banjo-Kazooie game is Nuts and Bolts. Anyway, this is a pretty standard race. Just hit the checkpoints. There is one of these in every major area. Also, hi, Pete. we're gonna let him sit in a pool of his own tune and let him think over his crimes.
His crime of giving you money?
Yeah, I mean, he should know better.
You know, honestly, I kind of like the fact that even with the world in the state that it's in, life still goes on, you know?
Yep. I mean, they're trying their best. Also, a great glitch here. If you mash the Z button at the end of the race, Gilda will thin out.
Oh, wow, you're killing everybody, aren't you?
Judge Doom and the Weasels will be by to pick them up later.
I like Gilda's animation in particular. She just looks annoyed. Now, thankfully, if you've thinned out an NPC, you can always restore them with paint.
That's always a plus, yeah.
That is a fun little feature.
Man, Mickey is really pissed today. I don't know why.
You're not going to stop in the gift shop store?
Oh, we'll come back later. You were mentioning the dripping before. It actually becomes more pronounced the more thinner you use. And if you stick to just paint, it's barely noticeable.
Okay, yeah, so kind of like a morality meter.
Yeah. Again, not as complex as something as you'd find in Deus Ex or System Shock, but at the very least, it's good at providing instant visual feedback.
I mean, Deus Ex didn't actually have a morality meter. Like, sometimes folks would chide you, but you were basically free to do whatever you liked.
By the way, Mickey, stay out of the humans' restroom.
Oh my god.
So this narrative beat is going to repeat a few times where we meet a character, they'll bring out all their bona fides, and Mickey will have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty sad, especially the more it happens.
I mean, Horace, like, he actually had a pretty decent run. Like, I remember seeing him in some of the more modern comics as well, like back in the 2000s.
And it hurts even more because prior to the invention of like Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto, Horace was essentially Mickey's sidekick. in the old days, like in the 20s and 30s. And of course, you know, you meet up with someone someone you haven't seen in like 80 years, and the first thing you do is give them a side quest.
Man, celebrity has really gone to Mickey's head. He can't remember anybody who helped give him his fame.
It's almost like that's an intentional theme of the story.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, let's go find his book. I mean, he said that Casey over at the Emporium was that he had it last.
I feel so old watching this because I recognize these characters, but I wasn't old enough to know the names.
So these are the maps. They're not especially useful, but I kind of like them. It kind of reminds me of like tourist brochures or the kind of the fold-out maps you'd see at theme parks.
I think that's probably intentional as well.
So let's enter the Emporium, roughly based on the many gift shops that you'd find on Main Street, USA.
I love how low def their voice is.
So Casey is an original character. I guess it's kind of a stretch, but you could say that his name is based on... There's a restaurant in the Walt Disney World version of Main Street called Casey's Corner. That's like the only theme park connection I could think of.
I mean, he might have existed, like, in the background. You can't tell for sure. Like, I'm sure not all the background characters had names.
Oh yeah, that's the case for a number of the other NPCs in this area. Anyway, general store. You can buy paint and thinner refills, which is completely useless because you could just find them out anywhere. But you want to pick up the large wallet because there are some things later on. I think the most expensive thing in the game is 1,000 e-tickets.
So they're gonna pull the trick where you can't actually have more than like an arbitrary amount, but then you need to have more than that amount in order to pay for something.
I actually don't remember what the cap is. I'll have to check. But while we were talking about Mickey's face and the concept art there, this game does something that has been kind of abandoned in recent Disney media, which is that Mickey's ears always face the camera.
I've actually seen that in some more modern, like, Mickey shorts as well.
Yeah, but usually when it's done in recent times, it's a throwback. It's specifically meant as an homage rather than, carrying on the old tradition. Because most media, most especially Kingdom Hearts, they've abandoned that. I guess it didn't work with the art style.
I'm guessing they just realized it would be a huge pain to animate.
Constantly having to adjust the model, yeah.
Well, I thought it was funny. Anyway, that character was Jack Kelly. He's basically like a fortune teller in a JRPG. You give him some money, and he will give you a hint on where to go next.
But in the guise of an old-timey reporter.
Well, yeah, he's a newspaper boy. In fact, his name is Jack Kelly, which is the same name as Christian Bale's character in the musical Newsies, who is also a newspaper boy. I'm pretty sure that character was a background character in like one comic from the 40s.
Do you think that we're ever going to see like any of the reject characters from like the 90s animated movies? Like all those like random...
Yeah. Imagine if there was a world based on like Simba and Nala's children from The Lion King 2. I would love that for an Epic Mickey 3.
I was thinking more like all the like various classmates from the Goofy movies.
Oh, yeah!
like that would have been kind of interesting.
This straight to VHS world.
Exactly. I mean, talk about forgotten characters.
Oh yeah, like I could talk about like all those like terrible, like obvious, like attempted TV show pilots.
Anyway, this ice cream parlor, based on the Gibson Girl, which is an ice cream parlor from Disneyland. Why is it so hard to say ice cream parlor? It shouldn't be a tongue twister, but yet it is.
Ice cream parlor? It's not that bad.
I don't know. Maybe I just have trouble saying it. Anyway, we got Casey's book back, and it's time for the punchline.
We were setting up for a joke.
Oh, always.
Well, I guess sometimes you gotta read through the basics every now and again.
Oh, that was the joke.
Yes. This is an ace detective, allegedly, and yet the book we had to get for him is How to Be a Detective.
Yeah, I guess you could call that a joke, kind of. It feels more like, maybe it's like a setup to a different kind of joke. Like, I feel like maybe Gus should have like popped in with some kind of sarcastic comment or something. I don't know.
Anyway, we got both of the gears, so let's go over to the projector room. However, there's Oswald in happier times.
Hey, buddy. Happier times and a Counter-Strike spray.
I really like how Mean Street uses forced perspective in a very obvious way. It's like the backgrounds in M. Dickey's game, The New Testament, except it's a joke and not meant to be taken seriously.
I mean, it also sort of reminds me of Mary Poppins using all those like matte paintings in order to pretend to be London.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they shot on location, but it was in the soundstage district of London.
We just don't have enough chimneys to sweep.
And this is our introduction to Power Sparks. They're basically the Jiggies or the Power Stars or whatever for this universe. It's Power Sparks.
I knew there was going to be some kind of a collectible.
Now, a good thing here is that there are actually multiple Power Sparks to get during this first trip through Mean Street. So you have options. Of course, we're going to be getting them all. So, first of all, we've been collecting those film reels from 2D levels. And I said that they were collectibles, and this is what we do with them. We hand them over to the usher.
No, like, name or anything, just the usher?
He is so committed to his job that he has legally changed his name to last name Usher, first name The. So while we're collecting our rewards here, this cinema, the Steamboat Oswald, is based on the Main Street Cinema. I found out something interesting about how the cinema actually works. It has a rotation of 6 films at any time. 5 of them will be a random selection of short films from the 19-teens, and the 6th is always Steamboat Willie.
They just won't let it die.
No.
Always got to maintain that copyright, I guess. Actually, I think that Steamboat Willie, like, I think I heard recently that it did actually fall into the public domain.
I will have to double check that. It would be pretty funny if it did. Oswald's in the public domain as of January.
I don't know if it did fall into it or if it's going to, but I'm gonna have to look that up myself.
So this museum is based on American Adventure, which is the retelling of American history that you can find at Epcot in Walt Disney World. It's a lot smaller, though. There are actually, in Epic Mickey 2, there are a bunch of side quests related to the museum. It even gets like a whole extra section. It basically doubles in size.
Okay, so I looked it up. Actually, apparently it's supposed to enter the public domain in 2024, so...
Well, not if Disney has anything to say about it.
Yeah, be looking out for that copyright extension.
Wait, we're just gonna have a friggin' sword?
It's a sword for the museum. And if you had not collected any film reels, you would have to buy the cutlass for 30 e-tickets. Hey, that's not a cutlass. That's a 2D JPEG of a cutlass. Maybe you were right about Pete investing in Bitcoin.
These aren't pins, these are NFTs!
They're non-fungible tuned objects. And, well, we've got our power spark for Marcus, but Mickey's not satisfied. He's gonna get the other two that are in this area.
Good job, Mickey.
Okay, fine, Gilda. I'll let you live. You know, I gotta think that Mickey has at least, you know, the mouse's ego is big enough. Do you really have to give him the power over life and death?
Yeah, why not?
By the way, we found a key earlier, and that was Casey's backroom key. This is one of several instances where you can you can finish a side quest before you even start it.
Does he really need to ask us if we're ready to leave every time we use a door?
I was just gonna say, that's gonna drive somebody nuts.
Well, I guess that the prompt is short enough that it never really gets in my way, but I don't know. To each their own. Another text box.
It would be hilarious if the door prompt was just long enough that door was on its own text box.
Take a shot.
Oh man, we're going to Oztown?
I didn't know that they own the rights to The Wizard of Oz.
Well, I mean, Disney owns 20th Century Fox now, so yeah, they do.
So, I've always wondered, if Disney owns 20th Century Fox now, does that make Newt from Aliens a Disney princess?
I remember the joke people were making was that it made a xenomorph a Disney princess.
Oh my god, this is self-insert fan fiction.
For those who may not know, this statue is based on a real statue called Partners, which is in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle in Disneyland. Though, as Gus said, there are a few alterations.
I can't believe that alternate universe Walt doesn't love Mickey anymore. Actually, come to think of it, would the discarded idea of Walt being like cryogenically frozen also count as something that would appear in this world?
I don't know if urban legends would end up in the wasteland. I did not know until I recorded this footage that the beds actually make noise when you land on them. Anyway, this is Through the Mirror. We've talked about this short before. It's from 1936, full of homages to Alice in Wonderland, which I believe was also in the public domain at that time. And one thing I really like about the original short is that just in the middle, for no real reason, Mickey starts doing like a Fred Astaire musical routine with the playing cards. It's great.
I mean, I guess why not? Like, it's just like, this is animation in its infancy, so you can kind of just do whatever you like.
There are even little sequences based on moments from the original short. We will be very familiar with this particular sequence by the end of the game. Because, again, this is how you travel between worlds in the land of Epic Mickey. And every time you have to backtrack, say, or to go from Mean Street to Oztown, you gotta play through this section again.
Really?
Oh, that sounds like a pain.
In fact, one of the big changes that the Japanese version of this game made is that it granted you the ability to skip a 2D section if you've already played through it.
So why aren't we playing the Japanese version?
Because there's no voice acting. And I don't think any of us can read Japanese that well, so... I might actually show some footage of the Japanese version. I have way too many versions of Epic Mickey and its sequel.
I don't want to ask how many.
Actually, try to think of it. Got the original North American release, the Japanese release that was imported of Epic Mickey 1, and then for Epic Mickey 2, I have versions for Xbox 360, the PC version that I imported from Europe before all of Disney's games went on Steam, and then again on Steam, just for kicks, you know. So that's 5.
You have an Epic Mickey problem, dude.
Hey, the first step to solving a problem is admitting you have it.
It's true.
Anyway, next time we will actually go into Oztown, do some more side questing, and maybe there'll be another area that is, I guess, a monument to Mickey's sins.